Some devastating news for Chelsea fans and football fans all over the world is that their player whom they signed from Southampton this season, that is Romeo Lavia, has had a setback on his recovery, and that means he's out until next season. Romeo Lavia will not play a part in Chelsea's um, games this season, and that means we will be able to see him in the pitch, that is back next season. Remember, when he joined Chelsea, he didn't play for a couple of games due to injury, and when he came back, he played I think one game. When he came on as a substitute, he did well, and since then he again was injured and was forced back in the sidelines, and he was recovering quite well. And on the road, on his road for recovery, he again had a setback and is now out until next season, as club confirms. It is a worrying news for him as a young player who we all know is a baller. He moved from Man City as academy to Southampton, where he was a star. Last season, he was being tutored by the likes of Liverpool, and eventually Chelsea managed to snap him. He's a player who has potential, and we were looking for to see him ball in the Premier League. And unfortunately, that's not going to happen as now he's out until next season. He's just a number of player. One of the players who has been having injury setback this season as Chelsea are concerned. Remember, their players, Christopher Nkunku, who was signed from RB Leipzig last season, this season rather, also has been out due to injuries and injury setbacks. Also, their captain, that is Rhys James, who has also been out due to injuries. It's a time whereby the player that is Romeo Lavia, all he needs is support from Chelsea fan and all over the world for football fans, because it's not a very good news for the player, because he wants to play, but his body doesn't allow him to do so. So we just hope that he'll be okay back next season and playing the football that he loves. Romeo Lavia injury comes in a very in an environment where players are having injuries this season. We've seen teams suffering the lack of quality players due to injuries. We've seen teams like Real Madrid suffering, Barcelona suffering, Manchester United, Liverpool, Chelsea, also City. In the international break, we were heard news of players getting injured. As far as we are concerned, yesterday we saw John Stones limping off against Belgium. We saw Camavinga was coming off against Chile when France were playing Chile. Also, Andy Robertson for Scotland, he was forced out. And these are just some of the injuries that player clubs or other teams have to face as we are in the climax of the season. Also, a number of players who didn't feature in the international friendly for their teams, for their national team because of injuries. We've seen the likes of Harry Kane of England missed the games against Brazil and Germany and Belgium due to injury. He got when was at Bayern. Also, Bukayo Saka of Arsenal also didn't feature in any international games due to injury. The likes of Alisson of Liverpool, Brazil, Ederson also of Brazil, playing for Manchester City, also did not feature in any of the international games. A few players who have been injured out. Also, we have Harry Maguire of Manchester United and Kyle Walker of Manchester City, who featured against Brazil at Wembley. Did not feature against Belgium, and they were out of the tournaments due to injuries. And we are yet to receive official confirmation or rather further information of these injuries. The only one we know so far is Romeo Lavia, who is out until next season. The likes of Harry Kane, according to Bayern Munich, he's back on the pitch running. Saka, we don't know about him yet. We will hear about that on Friday when Mikel Arteta will be issuing his pre-match conference, against which he will face Manchester City at the Etihad. We'll also hear from Guardiola on the injuries of Kyle Walker and John Stones. Also, Manuel Akanji, who was injured out on duty for Switzerland. We'll also hear from Eric Ten Hag on the injuries of Harry Maguire and the probability of Lisandro Martinez featuring against Brentford because we saw him on the training for Argentina, and we are yet to we are yet to get any information regarding his return from injury. So also we'll hear from Carlo Ancelotti regarding the injuries for, that is, Eduardo Camavinga, who was forced out against Chile. Also for Barcelona, Kunde was out against Chile because of an injury he sustained against the Netherlands, if I'm not wrong. And we are hoping that these players will fine, and their injuries are not as serious as many thought they are. So these are just some of the injuries or some of the news we have about players getting injured this season and impacting their respective teams in one way or the other. We saw we heard from Erik ten Hag when he said that their season have been not a good one due to injuries, and he's been not able to pick the same first 11 consecutively because of injuries. So these are just some of the players who are injured out in the international stage, and also players who have had setbacks. We also heard that Thibaut Courtois, that's the goalkeeper of Real Madrid, also had a setback on his short recovery. We knew that he'd be back against Manchester City, maybe in the second leg of the Champions League, but he had a setback on his return from injury, and he may be out until next season. Also, that is now for Romeo Lavia of Chelsea. So, guys, these are some of the injuries that we know at the moment, but we are yet to get full information about players like Kyle Walker, as told you earlier, Harry Maguire, Camavinga, Hurricane. I know he'll be back. Saka of Arsenal, and with Manchester City playing Liverpool, or rather Manchester City playing Arsenal at Etihad Stadium, a big game, these players are needed back.